Rob Van Dam. Listen to Tru Heel Heat. Pow.
What's up, everyone? It's the interview queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch Tru Heel Heat.
Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3, and this is the Tru Heel Heat's official list of the top 20 WrestleMania 39 week matches. This is the top 20 assembled by an all-star cast, I must say, of contributors around the wrestling world, and yours truly, SP3, putting together this exclusive list of the top 20 matches from WrestleMania 39 week in Los Angeles, California. So many huge shows across WrestleMania week. It was a huge week in professional wrestling, huge week in Los Angeles. You had WrestleMania 39's nights 1 and 2. You had ROH Supercard of Honor. You had NXT Stand and Deliver. You had the GCW Collective with an abundance of matches from those cards all across GCW, multiple promotions coming together. You had WrestleCon with a few shows. You had the Impact New Japan shows. So much to choose from, so little time. We're going to get into this top 20 list, but first up, I gotta say, as always, we appreciate you guys for joining us and watching this list for the month of April. Don't be surprised if you see another list for the month of April, because we love to give you a little bit more content here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. But this right here, we appreciate you for watching, whether it's on demand during the premiere, whichever or. And remember, show your appreciation back. Drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, take a look at all of our other lists. Just last month, we did the top 10 greatest WrestleMania matches of all time. We've done a list of the top 10 best African American wrestlers of all time for Black History Month. There is so many great lists. We started doing this in 2023, so expect more monthly lists right here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. But before we get into things, I want to shout out our contributors. We had an all-star cast of contributors on, around the wrestling media world. Some people that replied to my post on Twitter, and of course our Patreon backers. First, I want to shout out Scott E Wrestling, Scott Edwards of Fightful 5-Star Network. He is such a knowledgeable, person when it comes to professional wrestling. He's been on the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast before. I did my Supercard of Honor preview over on twitch.tv/Tru Heel Heat Gaming with him before WrestleMania weekend. Scott E, follow him on the Twitter machine at Scott E Wrestling. Of course, we got to shout out Steven Jensen, the host of the Weekender podcast. When it comes to independent wrestling, no one more knowledgeable than Steven Jensen. So shout outs to him for contributing to our list. Of course, from the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, Romeo Anthony Colon, as you saw during WrestleMania week. This man watched a lot of professional wrestling live with you guys on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. Shout out to the two people that replied to my post over on the Twitter machine, Stephen Wilson and Pomi Wrestling. Both great contributors, both people that I love to interact with on the Twitter machine. So glad that they answered the call to contribute to this list. One person from over at the Fightful Overbooked YouTube channel family, another person who is so knowledgeable when it comes to independent wrestling. He's the host of Indeed with Righteous Reg over on Fightful Overbooked. Mike from Indeed. He's a great guy. Love interacting with him You'll see it on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel for a live stream in the future. Please believe that. And someone that I just did a preview for New Japan Pro Wrestling Sakura Genesis, Kaden Lee. Kaden was with us on the Sakura Genesis preview. He was also on Friday Night Warriors just this past Friday. Shouts out to Kaden, who was there live in Los Angeles. He also contributed to our list. And most importantly, when it comes to me, our Patreon backers answering the call. We might be doing this more often for our Patreon backers, where they get to contribute to our list videos here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. So shout outs to one of our newest Patreon backers, Alan Banky. Alan Banky's been so great in our live chat. So glad he's become a Patreon backer and joined us over there for exclusive content and being able to contribute to lists like this. Dolores, who is one of our favorites when it comes to the live chat, always supporting us for what we do on Patreon, what we do on the YouTube channel, even on Twitch. She's subscribed over there. Dolores is amazing. James Jones, who's another great person, one of our moderators in the chat, someone who always contributes, always giving his feedback in our chats. All of them have contributed to this list, our top 20 best WrestleMania 39 week matches. So, are you guys ready? You ready? Let us know in the live chat if you have a difference of opinion. I'm going to shout out a couple of our honorable mentions. These are matches that probably got one vote or a couple of votes, but just missed out on the cut. You had Athena versus Yuka Sakazaki from ROH Supercard of Honor. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul from WrestleMania 39 Night 1. Johnny Gargano versus Grayson Waller from NXT Stand and Deliver. You also had Michael Oku versus Titus Alexander from Prestige Wrestling. Nervous Breakdown, just missing the cut. It was actually in the cut until I took one more vote. I believe James Jones was the last person who contributed to our list, and his votes edged out Michael Oku and Titus Alexander right out of our list, unfortunately. And I got to shout out, of course, Yoshihiko versus Cole Radrick, just missing out on the cut. Yoshihiko, one of the MVPs of WrestleMania weekend. Probably not the last time you hear that name. If you don't know, now you know. But let's get into our top 20. This is our biggest list we've put together because there was so much professional wrestling from Los Angeles, California for WrestleMania 39 week. So number 20 coming up here in our top 20 best matches from WrestleMania 39 week. We got from Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, it was Wheeler Yuta defending the ROH Pure Championship against Kazuchika Shibata. This matchup was built up very nicely with Wheeler Yuta, who's become kind of a dickhead, as Bryan Danielson has described him. He's basically used the Pure rules to cheat to win, whether it's using an extra closed fist or using the rope breaks in nefarious ways. And it all came back to haunt him as his cockiness, his hubris. He only got the advantage in this matchup due to a low blow. He thought he had the better of Shibata until Shibata just said, no, I'm not going to sell your offense, and beat the crap out of this dickhead and hit him with a PK kick for the victory. Kazuchika Shibata, in the year of our Lord 2023, is the ROH Pure Champion. For someone whose nickname is the Wrestler, this just seems right. And I know, shout out to Kieran from Ace Techers over on WrestleIn. This was his favorite matchup of WrestleMania weekend because he's a huge Shibata fan. So Shibata versus Wheeler Yuta coming in at number 20. They had that had officially 2 nominations, 7 points overall. Now let's move on to number 19 on our best matches of WrestleMania 39 week, with 7 points on 2 nominations as well, including 1 third place vote. We got from Tokyo Joshi Pro live in Los Angeles, 1 to a million. Maki Ito and Miya Yamashita defending the Princess Tag Team Championships against the Princess of Princess champion Mizuki and Yuka Sakazaki. Magical Sugar Rabbits. I saw this one and I absolutely enjoyed it. I'm glad that it is on our list here. Just 4 women just going out there and really putting on a show. This was the main event of the Tokyo Joshi Pro Live in Los Angeles event. It was a part of WrestleCon over in Globe Theater in Los Angeles, and this crowd was fully invested into this matchup for the top baby faces going at it. Maki Ito bringing her edge to this match with bites, her charisma showing off throughout. Mia Yamashita has some of the hardest kicks in professional wrestling, and she showed that out. But it was the chemistry and the long time partnership of Yuka Sakazaki and Mizuki who cleared out Mizuki hitting her double foot stomp on Maki Ito to get the victory. And now she is 2 belts, Mizuki, as she is the Princess of Princess champion, the top prize in Tokyo Joshi Pro. And for the 3rd time, the Magical Sugar Rabbits have claimed the Princess Tag Team Championships. It's sad that 1 to a million Maki Ito and Mia Yamashita's reign only lasted about 2 weeks after winning the titles at Grand Princess, but Magical Sugar Rabbits are the team when it comes to Tokyo Joshi Pro. This is a match that if you didn't see, I suggest you go out of your way to watch it, because it's definitely worth the watch, seeing 4 great women's wrestlers who you might not know too much about, but are really some of the best when it comes to Japanese professional wrestlings around the world, and especially when it comes to Joshi wrestling. Now we're moving on to number 18 on our list, coming in with 2 nominations on 8 points. I said you would see this person's name again, and you do. It is Yoshihiko. Yoshihiko teaming up with Chris Brooks to verse 37 Kamina of Mao and Kasamata. This one is just shenanigans at its best. When it comes to comedy wrestling, DDT is in a world of its own. Sometimes it goes kind of borderline to creepy, and I don't feel comfortable watching that. I'm talking to you about you, Pheromones. But when it talk about, just really great professional wrestling that has comedy influence, I mean, Yoshihiko's at the top of the list, but Mao and Katsamata is also at the top of the list. They can have great matches. I've seen a great match from them just from the DDT Judgment Show, but they just played so well off of what Yoshihiko can do. Mao taking ridiculous bombs, German suplexes from Yoshihiko. Yoshihiko flying through the hair at the UCC. In the end, it was 37 Gamina who got the victory, with Mao actually pinning Yoshihiko for their Iron Man championship, taking the title off of it, despite it being a tag team matchup. Anytime the Iron Man champion in DDT is pinned, the title changed hands. So Mao won the title. Then Chris Brooks, after the match, decided he was going to take things into his own hands, and he claimed the title from Mao. But Yoshihiko was like, I'm not playing these games, and hit 3 straight Canadian destroyers to reclaim the title. This kicked off the DDT Goes Hollywood show in such a great way. It just made it so much fun for the rest of the show. This is an hilarious matchup. When it comes to comedy wrestling, I don't think there was anything better during WrestleMania week than this matchup right here. Coming in at number 17 on our list, once again, this one has 8 points, but just edging out the previous match from DDT Goes Hollywood due to having a 3rd place vote. We got Timothy Thatcher versus Josh Barnett from Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 9, a part of the GCW The Collective. And this one is a completely different spear from our previous matchups. This one is so serious. If you know Bloodsport, the art of Bloodsport is to make it feel like a real fight. And this one definitely did. You get, a lot of submissions and catch wrestling in this bout. It's a lot of rolling around, but you really have that realism when you have someone like Josh Barnett, who's so MMA based, who's a legit fighter. And then you you have Timothy Thatcher, who's one of the best technical wrestlers in the world. And we got one of the more shocking results of the entire WrestleMania 39 weekend, as Josh Barnett took his first loss in Bloodsport to Timothy Thatcher. Timothy Thatcher locking on a heel hook to finally give Josh Barnett his first loss in Bloodsport. I just think when I see Bloodsport and I see Josh Barnett is on the card, I automatically assume he's going to win. So to see him not get the win, it was a shocker for sure. Coming in at number 16 on our list with 9 points on 2 nominations, we got Konosuke Takeshita going one-on-one with Yuka Ueno from DDT Goes Hollywood. Like I said, DDT Goes Hollywood was one of those hidden gem shows. And I know, stuff, guys like Romeo and, others that saw this show were just really high on this show because it was just so much fun. But it ended off with a real war of attrition type of matchup. Yuka Ueno is one of the younger performers on DDT, but he has made his way into the main event scene. And Konosuke Takeshita is one of the vets now when it comes to DDT, and one of the bigger stars due to his appearances in All Elite Wrestling. And it just really felt like Ueno was trying to prove himself to be on the level of Takeshita, but Takeshita just overwhelmed him, hitting his big knee for the victory here. I really enjoyed this matchup. Like I said, it was kind of like a war of attrition, both guys going back and forth. Takeshita just having a little bit more in the tank than Ueno, but Ueno, he made me a fan of his definitely after this matchup. Coming in at number 15 on our list, once again 9 points, but this time with 3 nominations, we have from the WrestleCon Super Show, in my opinion, one of the best, very best matches during WrestleMania week. This was Vikingo El Hijo del Vikingo defending the AAA Mega Championship against Commander and Taurus. Vikingo has really swept up, the whole United States fan base due to his appearances in AEW and across the independent scene for GCW, Warrior Wrestling, and the such. But this one was just pure AAA Lucha Libre. The Globe Theater, they blew the roof off with this matchup. So many unique spots, like Commander and Vikingo doing a rope walk into a moonsault to the floor on Taurus. The whole first row getting torn up due to like crazy suicide dives. Taurus playing the perfect base for both men, hitting big gorilla press slams off the top rope. In the end, it was Vikingo hitting the 630 on Taurus to get the victory here and retain the AAA Mega Championship. Spoiler alert, this ain't the last time you're going to hear Vikingo's name on this list. Just letting you know. Coming in at number 14 on our list of the best matches from WrestleMania 39 week, we got finally a match from WWE WrestleMania 39. And this time, night 1, very surprised on this one, just on 2 votes, but with 10 points overall. We got the WrestleMania Showcase men's match as Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders. When it comes to matches that exceeded expectations during WrestleMania 39's night 1 and 2, I think this should be at the top of the list for many. This was just a all-action sprint. It goes less than 9 minutes, but it has so many great and just spots that got the crowd invested in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium. You had Chad Gable with the spotlight, with the rolling German suplex, the chaos theory on big old Braun Strowman. You had Braun Strowman coming off the top rope with a big splash. You had Braun Strowman doing his train spot, and then Angelo Dawkins taking that man out, showing his football background. You had Ricochet lampshade with a springboard shooting star press to the outside. He tries to hit the shooting star press on Angelo Dawkins. Dawkins gets his knees up, and then Ford follows up with a big old frog splash to give the Street Profits the victory. This was just so much fun, such a fun spot fest that really got the SoFi Stadium into things, and it picked up as the night went on. I've said it once, I'll say it again. WrestleMania 39 Night 1 might be one of the greatest top 5 WrestleMania events ever, and this was a large part because of that. Now we got number 13 on our list of the best matches from WrestleMania 39 week, with 10 points on 4 nominations. So this got the same amount of points as the WrestleMania Men's Showcase, but had one more nomination. We got from Joey Janela's Spring Break 7, East-West Express versus the Motor City Machine Guns for the GCW World Tag Team Championships. This one was another fun matchup. There was no tags in this matchup. I say tag team. This was basically a tornado tag team matchup, but you have Motor City Machine Guns, one of the greatest tag teams of all time. East-West Express, Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver. Nick Wayne only 17 years old, Jordan Oliver only 23. Really look up to the Motor City Machine Guns, and to a lot of people, especially the GCW fan base, they view the East-West Express as this generation's Motor City Machine Guns, and they showed that in the way they were kind of mirroring a bunch of the spots that the Motor City Machine Guns have become known for. In the end, it was just a barrage of clout cutters. It was clout cutter, near fall, clout cutter, near fall, and then finally Wayne and Oliver hit the double clout cutter on Chris Sabin, and they get the 1, 2, 3. The East-West Express become your new GCW World Tag Team champions. This was an all-action tornado tag. It was never let up. You had dives to the outside, and this really had that crowd in the UCC on their feet and really got them into the rest of the show for Joey Janela's Spring Break. In my mind, Joey Janela's Spring Break is up there as one of the better shows of WrestleMania week. It might have been the best show overall for the GCW The Collective in Los Angeles during WrestleMania 39 weekend, but I guess we'll talk more about that. This will not be the last time we talk about Joey Janela's Spring Break 7 on this list. Moving on to number 12 with 12 points on 3 nominations. We go back to Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, and we have one of the more emotional matches of the entire weekend. Samoa Joe defending the Ring of Honor World Television Championship against Mark Briscoe. Of course, Mark Briscoe fighting with a heavy heart, losing Jay Briscoe in January, and he has always wanted to win the Ring of Honor World Television Championship. He had his family in the front row, and this felt like it was going to be Mark's night, and what we got was a hard-hitting battle between these two men. Joe just overwhelming Mark Briscoe at times, using his size, but Mark Briscoe never letting up. The spot of this whole matchup, and probably the whole night of Supercard of Honor, which had some crazy spots, but the one that just emotionally got me the most is Mark Briscoe. Right before he makes his comeback in this matchup, he drags himself to the corner, thinking that it's a tag team match, thinking that his brother is in the corner, and then gets to the corner and realizes that Jay isn't there and Jay is not with us anymore on this earth, and just fires up. It's like Jay came over him and he used the power to come back, make his last ditch effort to make the comeback. Gets a great near fall with the Froggy Bow, but every time he tries to get the Jay Driller, Joe is able to reverse. Joe is able to fight out. In the end, he tries to get the cutthroat driver, but Joe is able to reverse it into the Kakina clutch, and Samoa Joe breaks the heart of every Ring of Honor fan, of every Briscoe fan, and gets the win to retain the Ring of Honor World Television Championship. No matter how you feel about this matchup, whether you feel Mark Briscoe should have won here, that it was the time to make that change or not, there's no denying this was a great matchup. But Speaking of great matchups, just missing out of the cut of our top 10, coming in at number 11 on 4 nominations, 15 points overall. We got our first entry from NXT Stand and Deliver for the North American Championship. We have the Open Challenge 5-way with Wesley defending against JD McDonough, Dragon Lee, Ilya Dragunov, and Axiom. And this one was just a spectacular matchup. All 5 guys showing out in this one and just having a great matchup that never let up. It was hard hitting. You had your high flying, you had your nonstop action. Even Harlem is here and saying that she really enjoyed this matchup, as you hear in the background. This one had Dragon Lee kind of getting his spotlight in his first major matchup in WWE and really standing up and delivering. Ilya Dragunov showing his fire and desire in this one, being the mad dragon that he is. JD McDonough, who really can do anything when it comes to hard hitting, when it comes to his agility. Wesley just always showing out in these type of matchups, especially on the big NXT shows. Axiom showing his athleticism and his technical precision. His golden ratio kick when Wesley tried for the cardiac kick, so well timed, one of the best well timed spots all WrestleMania weekend. But it was the cardiac kick finally by Wesley on Dragunov and Axiom at the same time that got him the victory to retain the North American Championship. Wesley has honestly become one of the greatest North American champions of all time with this reign, and this is just another piece. This might have been the best matchup, bell to bell that Wesley has had with the North American Championship, because it spotlighted everyone so well and really stole the show as Stand and Deliver. Now we're moving on to number 10 on our list, the top 10, and we're kicking off with number 10 here with 16 points on 4 nominations. It's Kota Ibushi going one-on-one with Speedball Mike Bailey. If you asked me before the weekend what match I was looking forward to the most, it was probably this. And boy, oh boy, did this save nothing. This was less than 7 minutes, but this just felt like a real battle, a fight. You had the kicks of Speedball Mike Bailey, the kicks of Kota Ibushi, and how they would use professional wrestling spots in this blood sport type battle were just so brilliant, so well timed. It was just so great how they did everything. You had Ibushi with the deadlift German suplex, but not from the apron and him standing on the ropes like he usually does it. He does it from outside the ring to inside the ring. The finish was amazing with Kota Ibushi doing a regalplex into the Kamigoye for the knockout victory. Bloodsport, you only win the matches by knockout or pass out or tap out, and this one just had it all. This one was a great way to reintroduce Kota Ibushi to professional wrestling. Speedball Mike Bailey made for the perfect type of opponent for this type of matchup. It was one of my favorites from WrestleMania weekend, and the atmosphere, being in the crowd. I know Kaden Lee, who contribute to the list, he said it was one of the best atmospheres he's ever been a part of, being there live for a matchup, and you felt that through the screen. This had the intensity, the atmosphere was unreal. This delivered in Kota Ibushi's introduction back into professional wrestling outside of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Coming in at number 9 on 18 points, 5 nominations. Mama, there go that man again. We go to Joey Janela's Spring Break, and once again, we got the Golden Star, Kota Ibushi, going one-on-one with the namesake of the event, Joey Janela. And I like I said, I loved Ibushi versus Speedball, but I am glad this is above it, because this surprised me in like I don't expect Joey Janela to give me this type of like, this was a war. If you want to say a match that looked like a war, felt like a war, this was a war. You had Janela going into the ring post and getting busted open. You had the deadlift German suplex spot where Ibushi is standing on the top rope outside of the ring. Janela's on the other side on the apron, and he does the deadlift German suplex, but not into the inside of the ring. No, he does it to the outside of the ring through doors, and Joey Janela lands on Ibushi's head. Oh my God! You had Ibushi hitting a V trigger at one point. Janela giving him a DDT on the apron. It was hard hitting. The strike exchange was just so stiff, and then in the end, it was Kota Ibushi with the Kamagoye putting Joey Janela away. This, in my mind, is Joey Janela's greatest match of his career. This is the best match that I've seen Joey Janela in. And I've seen him in great matches with the likes of, Leo Rush, seen him in great matches with Gringo Loco, seen him in great matches in GCW, AEW with Kenny Omega. His all-in matchup with Hangman Adam Page was great, but this might be the best match of his career. And he cut an emotional promo afterwards, which just felt like the cherry on top and really put into perspective why he wanted this matchup with Kota Ibushi, with the parallels between the two men. Definitely go out of your way to watch this one. And another reason why I think Joey Janela's Spring Break 7 was the best show of the GCW Collective. Coming in at number 8, we're going back to Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, with 21 points on 6 nominations. We got Claudio Castagnoli defending the Ring of Honor World Championship against Eddie Kingston. This is another one that felt so emotional with the build-up. 15 years in the making between these two men, and on a card that had some spectacular matches, some crazy matches, and we got more to discuss from this show. This one felt like the perfect main event because it was physically intense. It was hard hitting. It was some brutal spots. You had Claudio with the big old gut-wrench suplex off the apron to the floor. You had Claudio just beating the crap out of Eddie Kingston, and Eddie Kingston never letting up, showing off his heart, his determination, his fighting spirit. The best spot, in my opinion, was towards the end of this matchup when Claudio hits the neutralizer and Eddie kicks out at 1, and how that crowd just fired up in Los Angeles. They were on their feet and they were fully invested in wanting to see Eddie Kingston get the job done and get the win in this one. He fires up, he gets immediately up after the kick out, and he gets a running European uppercut by Claudio, but he kicks out at 2 and they fire up again. They're even louder this time. Claudio gets him up for the Ricola bomb, but Eddie's able to reverse it into a Hurricane Rana and a pinfall. He gets a 1-2. Claudio gets out, he reverses it into a sunset flip, and he gets the 1-2-3. Claudio Castagnoli barely scraping by Eddie Kingston, but it shows that Eddie Kingston has improved so much of his wrestling that the gap between him and Claudio is not as wide as Claudio once thought, and this felt like the matchup that sets Eddie up to be the man to dethrone Claudio Castagnoli. I don't know when it will happen, but I feel now more than I did going into this matchup that Eddie is the guy, and Eddie will finally get the job done and become a world champion, the Ring of Honor world champion. We move on to number 7, coming in on with 23 points on 5 nominations. We go back to Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, and we have the Reach for the Sky ladder match for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. The matchup in dedication to Jay Briscoe, the last Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion, along with Mark Briscoe, and they made a ladder match dedicated to him with some of the best teams in the world, the Lucha Bros, the Kingdom, Aussie Open, LFI represented by Dralistico and Roosh, and Top Flight, Darius and Dante Martin. This one was nuts. You had so many crazy spots using ladders. on the fight went to the stage across ringside. You had ladder bridges, multiple ladder bridges in this matchup. Aussie Open showing off their double team moves, power drivers on the ramp, which busted open the Kingdom, showing some color in this one. Drilistico and Roosh being so physical, top flight flying all over the place. Same with the Lucha Bros with their dives to the outside. Unfortunately, a lot of people will remember this match for one of the final spots where Pentagon delivers a Mexican destroyer off of a ladder bridge inside of the ring to the outside to a stack of tables, and unfortunately Dante Martin totally breaking his leg on the fall. That will take a little bit away from this matchup, but don't get it twisted. This is one of the craziest multi-man tag team ladder matches that you will ever see in professional wrestling. In the end, it was Penta and Phoenix who got the job done and became the new Ring of Honor World Champions. The emotional scene after the match with FTR and Mark Briscoe coming out to celebrate with Penta and Phoenix, that gave a little bit, more love to this, I think, for a lot of people, but unfortunately to some will only remember the injury to Dante Martin, which is unfortunate because this was by far a fantastic, terrific multi-man ladder match that just kept up in the ante every single time, whether it was, Mark Davis doing a big spot onto a ladder bridge, whether it was, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett paying tribute to their rivalry with the Briscoes with a Doomsday device off of the Undertaker dive to the outside, because that was the move they first did against the Briscoe all these years back. So many great spots, and it was a match dedicated to one of the greatest Ring of Honor performers of all time. So you got to show love to this. And now we hit number 6 on our list, and we go up significantly. I think we've been gradually going up in the points, but these are the matches that we're seeing the most on a lot of people's list, coming in with 41 points on 1 first place vote and 7 nominations overall. We have El Hijo del Vikingo going one-on-one with Speedball Mike Bailey from Joey Janela's Spring Break. This was one of those dream matches that everyone was looking forward to prior to WrestleMania 39 weekend, and this one definitely delivered the goods. And this is the fact of the matter is that Vikingo and Speedball had multiple matches on this day, on Friday night. These guys are nuts. These guys are nuts. Speedball was in a match earlier in the day with Moonlight Express teaming up with Mal against the East West Express on the GCW versus DDT show. El Hijo del Vikingo had his matchup with Commander on ROH Supercard of Honor earlier in the day, but that did not stop them from going completely nuts with this matchup. One of the best spots being Vikingo with a rope walk destroyer onto Speedball on the apron, which was one of the craziest. I've seen it go viral a few times with people showing it off on their social media. You had big moves off the top rope. Speedball showing off his hard kicks, just coming at Vikingo every step of the way. Speedball had 10 matches in 3 days. Vikingo was the MVP of WrestleMania weekend, and I think the real reason that he is the MVP is because he beat the other MVP, hitting Speedball Mike Bailey with the 630 to get the victory here. Me, myself, I rated this match 4.5 stars. So did Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and is well deserving of it. One of the best matches of the entire GCW The Collective. And here we are, guys. We're into the top five for the best matches of WrestleMania 39 week. Coming in at number 5, and this is a controversial pick, but here it is. This is based on the votes. If I didn't specify at the beginning, I asked every contributor for this list to give me their top 10. First place got 10 points. Second place got 9 points. Third place got 8 points, so on and so forth. And this match at number 5 had 45 points overall, including 2 first place votes on 8 nominations. we have Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns from WrestleMania 39, Night 2 for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. The reason why I think this would be controversial is because not a lot of people are happy about the result of this one, but bell to bell, this was a tremendous bout. You had the big fight feel. The buildup was superb heading in with Cody cutting some of the best promos of his career. Roman Reigns, the story with the bloodline and how they firmly have integrated Cody into this, and the chase of Cody trying to realize his dream, become the first Rhodes to win the top prize in WWE. This had the big fight feel. This had the major WrestleMania worthy entrances with Cody coming out with the big pyro, coming in and giving his weight belt to Brody Lee Jr., hugging his daughter, kissing his wife, his sister, and his mom. You had Roman Reigns with the final boss entrance with a piano orchestra. So everyone was fully invested coming into this one. And what they had was the big time WWE main event type of matchup. You had Solo getting involved. He's eventually booted out to go to the back. You had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn getting involved along with the Usos. Usos coming out after the referee bump, but KO and Sami neutralizing them, hitting the stunner and the Luva kick on Roman. Cody getting the near fall out of that one. Cody getting a near fall on the crossroads and on a pedigree. Roman getting a near fall on a spear and a rock bottom. Cody looked like he was on the verge of victory, on the verge of sending everyone home happy. He hits the crossroad once, picks Roman up. Hits the crossroads twice. Paul Heyman gets on the apron, and Solo Sikoa sneaks behind the referee's back, wearing a hoodie, delivers the Samoan spike. Roman Reigns delivers a second spear. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns retains the undisputed WWE Universal Championship and ends the night with going on 946 days on top of the WWE, while Cody Rhodes ends the night all sad, not being able to finish the story. So a lot of people are upset because of the result, but there's no denying this was a great WrestleMania main event. These two men put on the performance of a lifetime and something that felt worthy of ending the show of shows, especially in front of 81,000 at SoFi Stadium. Now we move on to number 4 on our list, coming in a little bit up from the last one, 11 points, in fact, 56 points overall on 8 nominations. So on average, this was like number 4 on most people lists that contribute to this list that we have here. We got Charlotte Flair defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley in what is now, by Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the highest rated women's match in WrestleMania history. And there's no denying why. This was a stellar bout. Regardless of how you felt about the buildup, these two women left it all in the ring. This was physically intense. The brutal spot with Rhea Ripley German suplexing Charlotte Flair on her face and her scraping her nose. You had a avalanche German suplex off the top by Rhea Ripley. Charlotte getting near falls off the natural selection, almost getting the figure 4, but Rhea getting to the ropes. The finish was absolutely perfect with Rhea basically slamming Charlotte's head into the ring post, telling her, "It's my time, bitch," and then delivering an avalanche riptide off the second rope for the victory to become a new SmackDown Women's Champion and officially a Grand Slam winner, the only Grand Slam winner really in WWE history, as she's won the NXT UK Women's Championship, the NXT Women's Championship, the Raw Women's Championship, and the SmackDown Women's Championship, as well as the Women's Tag Team Gold Rhea Ripley feels like an even bigger star, and she owes it a lot to Charlotte Flair really elevating her in this matchup. This is Rhea Ripley's best match of her career, in my opinion, and one of the greatest women's matches in WrestleMania history or even WWE history. These two women delivered it all. Everything you were looking for, they gave it to us in this matchup. And now we're in the top three, ladies and gentlemen. Number 3 on our list, even more up than our previous matchup, because we had 11 nominations overall. All 11 voted for this matchup here. All 11 pretty much voted for a top spot and this one on their list. All 11 had this one coming in at number 3 with 74 points, one first place vote overall. Is Gunther defending the Intercontinental Championship against Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. These three men went out there and beat the absolute holy hell out of each other. You had chops. You had beats of the Bowery. You had these men just bruised and battered throughout this matchup. The chop exchange between Drew and Gunther just had me on the edge of my seat. You had Sheamus, white skin, looking like hamburger meat by the end of this joint. You had Sheamus going at it with Drew. The Banger Bros collide. You had the moment where Sheamus thought he had the win on Gunther, but Drew pulls Sheamus out of the ring and cost him. And Sheamus, that was like a great storytelling type of moment. The anger on Sheamus's face. He was like, you denied me the opportunity to have this singles match with Gunther here, and now you're denying me the opportunity to win the championship. They were going at it fist and fury towards the end of this matchup, and then Gunther came in, delivers a power bomb on Sheamus on top of Drew, then delivers a power bomb to Drew McIntyre to get the victory and retain the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Gunther is now the all-time leader when it comes to Wrestling Observer newsletter 5-star matches in WWE history. And this man was only signed in 2019. Every year, pretty much, of his career here at WWE, he has had a 5-star matchup, whether it's 2019 with Tyler Bate at TakeOver Cardiff, whether it's 2020 in the empty arena against Ilya Dragunov, the rematch with Dragunov at TakeOver 36 in 2021, last year with Sheamus at Clash at the Castle, and now this match in 2023. I said it during our WrestleMania review. I will repeat myself again. This, in my opinion, is the greatest Intercontinental title match in WrestleMania history. And now, folks, we got number 2 on our list, just up from Gunther, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus. 5 points more, 79 points overall on 10 out of 11 nominations, 4 first place votes, the most first place votes on our list here. We go back to Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, and we have El Hijo del Vikingo defending the AAA Mega Championship against Commander. This was one of the best Lucha Libre matches I ever seen. I know I've said best, greatest a lot because this weekend was absolutely insane when it came to stellar, amazing, magnificent, fabulous matches. And this one might have been the most insane, unreal. And when I say I saw stuff I'd never seen before in a match, this is what I'm talking about. You have to have something that is so state of the art, that is so unreal and unimaginable to really have a 5-star matchup on a matchup that had no build, really. You have to have like a matchup that is a step above the rest to be so highly rated without a buildup. And this is what this match was. You just had these two men doing high flying moves you didn't think were possible. You had the reversal by Commander off of Vikingo doing a rope walk, and he hits him with a sit out power bomb. You had Vikingo hitting his implosion Hurricane Rada in like the opening few minutes of the contest. The implosion Hurricane Rada is always a spot that's just amazing to watch, because if he hits it perfectly, you know you're going to see something unreal and spectacular. And this is what this match was. Commander, one of the greatest rope walk wrestlers you have ever seen. He does spam it from time to time. In this match, he hit it at just the right spot, and he did it here. You had you had Vikingo with his springboard 630 from inside the ring to outside the ring. Doesn't even break the table, so it even goes on the ribs of Commander even more. In the end, Vikingo hitting another 630 in the ring to get the victory and retain the AAA Mega Championship. These two guys went out in the opening matchup at Supercard of Honor and stole the whole damn show. This would have been the best match of the entire weekend if there wasn't for one other match, and that is where we get to number one on our list here. Coming in at number one on 90 points, 3 first place votes overall, and all 11 of our nominations voted for this one. We have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn going up and challenging the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, in the main event of WrestleMania 39 Night 1. This is one of the best stories WWE has ever put together. Sami Zayn becoming the honorary Us of the Bloodline, and it all culminated here into this matchup. You had one of the greatest PWG and independent tag teams of the 2010s in Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, aka El Generico and Kevin Steen, versus the Usos, who have become one of the best tag teams of this generation in WWE. And you had the mixture of both styles with some amazing storytelling throughout. Incredible work from these four guys, with a crowd in Los Angeles, SoFi Stadium, 80,000, who started off very calm, and they just built and built and built, and the action escalated. You had the passion of Sami Zayn early on, where they put Kevin Owens through the commentary table, and then they just bombard Sami Zayn with super kick after super kick after super kick after super kick, and near fall after near fall after near fall. You get Sami Zayn becoming the first man to kick out of the 1D, one of the more protected finishing moves in all of WWE. And then you had the comebacks and the hot tags. They gave him 2 very well-timed hot tags in this one, ending off with Kevin Owens hitting a fisherman buster off the middle rope onto Jey Uso, and then tagging in Sami Zayn, and the crowd, everyone was on their feet wanting Sami and Kevin to do it, to end the 600 plus day reign of the Usos, and the determination in Sami Zayn's eyes. Sami Zayn put on an all-time great WrestleMania main event performance in this matchup. Like I said, his whole passion of Sami Zayn and how he got crucified with super kicks by the Usos early on, and his selling, his stammering into the ropes. I've said it on the review, and I'll say it here. He sold his ass off. He sold his ass like he was Terry Funk reborn in this matchup. And then the facial expressions at the end, where he had the determination, but a slight look of regret that he has to do this to someone that he grew to say that was like a brother to him in Jey Uso. And he delivers 3 haluva kicks to the face. After one, he catches him in his arms like he's Kevin Owens at War Games or Battlegrounds 2016, and then puts him back into a corner, delivers a second haluva kick, and then catches him again and tells him it ends here now, and then puts him back into the corner and gives him a third haluva kick. 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens realize a dream. They finished their story and they defeat the Usos to become the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. In my mind, this is the greatest tag team match in WrestleMania history, the greatest tag team match in WWE history, and one of the greatest tag team matches of all time. You could put it up there with Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks from Revolution 2020. You could put it up there with the Golden Lovers versus the Young Bucks from 2018. This is just a special matchup that had just Academy Award worthy storytelling throughout, the facial expressions, the body language, the selling, and how every move was planned out, the different callbacks to the prior in the feud. Everyone was on top form, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens realizing their dream, winning in the main event, becoming tag team champions for the first time in WWE, just miles away from Reseda and PWG, where they became stars for the first time in North America, in the United States, more specifically, and their tributes to PWG on their gear. You had Kevin Owens with the Super Dragon logo on his pants as well. This just felt like something special and something that fans will never forget in the main event of WrestleMania 39 Night 1. Like I said, from top to bottom, WrestleMania 39 Night 1 may be a top 5 WrestleMania event all time. But that is all. That is it, folks. That is the top 20 best matches of WrestleMania 39 week. Man, what a crazy week. What a list of exceptional matches. But this is the list that we have put together here on Tru Heel Heat. This is Tru Heel Heat's top 20 list. It might not be your top 20 list. I want to thank once again our contributors for this list: Scott E. Wrestling, Scott Edwards from Fightful, Steven Jensen from Fightful, Romeo Anthony Colon from right here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, Steven Wilson, Pomi Wrestling, Mauricio, Mike Indeed, Kaden Lee, our Patreon backers, Alan Banky, Dolores, and James Jones, and of course myself also contributed to this list, of course. Thank you guys for contributing to this list, and thank you all for watching this list. Whether you're watching it on the premiere, which you're watching on demand, I appreciate each and every one of you. Remember to drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And like I said, this is Tru Heel Heat's top 20 best matches from WrestleMania 39 week, but it might not be your list. Let us know in the comments down below if you think we missed out on a match, if you think another match deserved to be number 1 on our list. You let us know, and we will definitely interact with you. We love to interact here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, and we appreciate you all for giving us your feedback on our top 20 list here. And remember to check out all the great content that we have here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. We have plenty more content in the week to come. Check out yesterday's Tru Heel Heat 220 with myself, Miss Chrissy Love, and the True Draw Josh, talking about a crazy WrestleMania week. There was so much to discuss from WrestleMania 39, Vince McMahon back in control of creative in WWE, the WWE sale and merger with UFC under Endeavor, AEW going to London for AEW All In coming up this August, Switchblade Jay White signing with AEW. There was so much to discuss on Tru Heel Heat. This was an all-timer episode, so go out of your way to check that out. And thank you all for joining me here for this list, for this month's list. And like I said at the top of this list, might be back for another list. You never know. But for now, that is all. I must bid you adieu. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat's top 20 best matches of WrestleMania 39 week. We are signing off until next time.